And away we go. It is the Nightcap, brought to you by Galactic Fried Chicken, right here on BearcatJournal.com. As always, visit www.galacticfriedchicken.com. Download the app for Android, iPhone, everything Galactic. Go to the app, get it delivered. They will bring it pretty much anywhere inside the 275 loop right to your front door. Or get down to Dayton, Kentucky, Wednesday through Sunday. Tell them to pump it up. Save yourself 15% off your order. Hi, Aaron.
Whoops, wrong button.
Oh, come on. Get your stuff together.
It's fine.
You act like we haven't really been doing these on our regularly scheduled basis.
Weird.
We're starting Sunday, and you guys are going to do one, I would assume, with 6 of you there or whatever it is on Saturday. I would assume you guys are going to do one Saturday night, unless you want me to call in and talk about my daughter's volleyball tournament on the way home from Indianapolis.
Sure don't.
But Sunday forward, we're getting back on the regular schedule, and I'm going to force myself to work because I need it. Need to occupy my brain. So, spring game, Saturday, noon. Let's talk about some things we are interested in seeing. And I think for me, and Dave and I talked about this a little bit last night in a different light. I think what's important for me, the number one thing I would be looking for if I was there, what does this offense look like on first down? Because I think they've had a first down problem for a while. With Dez at times, there were glimpses of not being deficient on first down. But there were still a lot of times, even with Dez, that first down set up 2nd and 7, 2nd and 8, 2nd and 9.
It feels like this offense for the last couple of years has been borderline predictable on first down.
Yeah, a lot of runs, a lot of short passes. They would occasionally try to air it out on first down, but it wasn't something that was a regular, part of the attack.
No, you didn't have to be nervous about somebody beating you deep downfield very often on first down. That said, I don't know. I mean, I obviously it's a whole new offense. It's a whole new head coach. Yeah. It's a whole new play caller, and you have an entirely different set of hands on deck as far as the roster goes. So, especially
you're also talking about a coach that his bread and butter has been a run scheme,
right?
So, if you're going to be a run first offense, you better be able to get 4 yards on first down.
Yeah, it shouldn't be these. It shouldn't be anywhere less than a 3 to 4 yard gain, right? I mean,
yeah. The last time I really felt like this team was outstanding on first down was when Mike Warren was here, because Mike Warren never went backwards. Like he got 3 yards no matter what.
Cincinnati's version of Frank Gore, right? Like
right.
he's gonna get you at least 3 or 4 every time he touches the ball, and I would hope that should be an expectation at some point under the Scott Satterfield offense.
Yeah, and like Dave talked about last night on the BCJ pod, those outside zone schemes, if executed with any level of the play going as designed, should be able to get 4 yards, because you're stretching the defense out. You're asking a running back to pick. Do I hit inside? Do I hit outside? He should be downhill with his shoulders turned as he gets to the edge more often than not. It's just one of those things that this is what we know Scott Satterfield's offense to be. Run-based, outside zone, heavy.
And ideally, no matter who is your quarterback, which will be another position to keep an eye on, even as early as the spring, especially as early as the spring game. Regardless of who your quarterback is, I would think that if you can average that 3 to 4 yards on in the run game, that should open things up dramatically for your pass game.
Right. So that's why I think that this is a two-parter for me, because I think just as important on defense is establishing their identity. Like that's why I think what I just said on offense is important. Is Scott Satterfield's offensive identity is what I just said. Downhill, outside zone, run heavy, pick up 3, 4, 5 yards on first down, and grind things out that way. So I think it's going to be important in our first look against a good defense to see, can they accomplish what that is designed to accomplish in a live, quote unquote, live, as much as live as you're going to get in the spring setting.
Right.
Defense, let's see if they dial it up. I mean, that's what Brian Brown is known for. Let's see how much and how often and how many different ways that they try to get after the quarterback, because that's what we think this defense is supposed to, that's supposed to be the backbone of this defense.
And outside of secondary, you're bringing back a lot of starters on defense.
Sure. Yeah. And you've got a guy like Jack Dingle filling in at middle linebacker, Dorian Jones stepping in, Greziak as like that outside edge rusher. You've got veterans on the defensive line. You've got what looks like a potential star in Jordan Taylor. If Jordan Taylor doesn't get a pick on Saturday, I'm going to be pretty surprised, because that's what he does. That's what he do. He goes and gets picks.
A shooting star in Dante Corleone.
Yeah. So defense, I'm not going to get to see it, unfortunately, but defensively, obviously, I would like to get a look at, okay, how elaborate are we talking when we talk about the number of pressures? The guys are going to be coming from how many different angles? How much does Brian Brown really put his foot on the gas in that first like look at what Cincinnati is going to be?
I have high hopes even in Deshaun Pace on being a comeback player of the year. Like, I think that in this new defensive scheme, I think that you could see who we thought Deshaun Pace was 2 seasons ago. I think there was quite a drop-off last year compared to 2 years ago.
Yeah, I even took all his tackles. That's what happened. Like, if we're being honest,
well,
there's a reason Ivan was a first-team All-American.
That doesn't change the fact that Deshaun wasn't able to hawk the ball the way that he was.
Yeah, because Ivan had the guy on the ground.
Well,
whoever it was, quarterback, running back, it didn't matter.
There were plenty of passes throughout the season, and Deshaun just wasn't.
He wasn't in coverage like this last year. That's going to be interesting with Deshaun in this role. I don't know that he is going to be in a position to just stack tackles. Which
I'd be okay with if he can come up with the ball.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, Deshaun is definitely one of those guys that if he plays great this year, this defense has a chance to be really good. If he's average like he was last year, above average, he wasn't average per se.
I agree. I don't think he was average, but
if he's at his best, maybe that's how we put it. If he's at his best, this defense can be outstanding. If he's not at his best, there's, especially in a conference that scores like the Big 12 scores, it could be a lot of trouble.
Yeah, his position's wild card. I mean, the defense is kind of go as he goes, right? Like,
right.
With him being not necessarily the leader on the field, but the guy who everything revolves around. I mean, we know what we saw in we know what we saw in like a Troy Polamalu style defense where he was just kind of spying all over the field at any given moment. You didn't know if he was blitzing, you didn't know if he was dropping into coverage, and Deshaun's got a chance to
I think he's going to blitz more in this season, which I think could be fascinating. I think you're going to see this staff blitz him a lot.
You've just got a chance to see him do some really special things, I think, at that position. So,
yeah, I agree.
Obviously, there's a lot of question marks as far as depth goes. First off, we don't know who even the ones are at this point in time, so we're also very curious to see who the twos are. As there's been some injuries already, and you don't necessarily know what you have at some key positions. As far as we've beaten a dead horse as far as talking about the wide receiver room, tight ends a little thin at this point. Quarterback, you have a lot of dudes, and you don't really know what's going on at the top of that with Ben and Emory Jones. And for me, I would almost put secondary in that same conversation at this point.
I'm a lot more confident about this secondary than most. Does that mean I think they're elite? No.
I don't know that it's necessarily confidence. For me, it's just how deep are we? If anybody goes down, what do you have at secondary right now?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess for me, like, ultimately worrying about that, like, in the spring game is we don't even know what the skill positions are going to look like when we get to higher ground.
Correct.
Because guess what? The transfer portal opens Saturday for football. The spring transfer portal window opens Saturday. We're already seeing them reaching out to defensive backs. So, and we know they're going to reach out to wide receivers.
Yeah, without question.
So, like, I can't get myself too worked up about that yet. I get what you're saying. I'm not disagreeing with you.
I can only look at what's on the field in front of me on Saturday, right? So if I'm looking for things that I have question marks about, that would be a position group that I have question marks about. But at the same time, that's also allowing me to see the guys that we do have here, if they don't enter the transfer portal later that day or the next day, I have a chance to see the guys who are here as opposed to whoever comes in the portal. And then I at least know what depth looks like if somebody else beats them. So I have a barometer, I suppose, of some sort.
Baseline.
Measuring.
More of a base. Yeah. Nah.
I hope that I hope we're able to do a lot more than grunt at what the secondary looks like.
I've liked what I've seen so far this spring.
I know.
I really like Jordan Taylor. I think Jordan Young, DJ Taylor has been very good. I do that. It's my new Temple, Tulane, Tulsa is Jordan Young and DJ Taylor.
Teams who shall not be named.
Yeah. Who? What? Who?
Yeah.
I pulled a Temple there. See what I did?
Yeah.
All right, that's gonna wrap it up. I get to.
I got one other thing to add.
Okay.
Do you have any thoughts on a Zoom call that is supposedly is being reported to be set up with Musa Cisse?
Yeah, I think that was. I understand Cincinnati's interest in him. I also understand that with Vic and Odie already in the fold, that if you bring in Musa Cisse, Jamel Reynolds might be like,
peace.
And look, this team needs scoring. So if I had to pick, as much as I love Musa Cisse, like as much as I love that shot blocker, defender type person, he's not great at putting the biscuit in the basket. And I think this team needs scoring.
I agree.
And to that note, instead of Cisse, there's a name I just put on the message board tonight that I think could be visiting within the next week or so that I think would be a much better fit. So go check out BearcatJournal.com right now. 50% off a full year of service if you join this weekend.
Also, congrats to Jeremiah Davenport on Arkansas.
Good fit for him. Look, Musselman will let him fire it up.
Situational spot shooter, something that he could not be asked to do here in Cincinnati. at this point in his
I
career.
think he could be asked to do it. He just probably wouldn't. Different story, different day. All right. We'll see you. We'll see you on Saturday. Aaron and company. I'll see you on Saturday.
Whoever I get to join me.
Yeah. You've got plenty of options.
I do.
This is the Nightcap, brought to you by Galactic Fried Chicken, right here on BearcatJournal.com.
See ya!